Good morning, gang. Happy Sunday morning. Here we go. All right. I've said many, many times, you guys have heard me say it over and over. The only thing that is stopping the world from global tyranny is the Second Amendment. And there's no question whatsoever about it. Last week, our illustrious friends, the idiots at the World Economic Forum, posted a research paper demanding that the world governments start rationing meat and rationing fuel. Not asking, demanding. Okay? That it was the only feasible way to stop climate change. Now, I want to start here. Somebody please tell me, let's talk about some of the heads of the World Economic Forum. Anybody elect Klaus Schwab to anything? I didn't. Okay. How about Al Gore? Anybody elect him to decide what's going on? If I remember correctly, he ran for president in 2000 and lost. Okay. The American people didn't want him. The world certainly doesn't either. Anybody ever elect Bill Gates to something? Not me. Okay. I never even owned Microsoft stock. Never particularly cared for the company. Bill Gates has always been a dirtbag. Okay. Anybody ever elect King Charles to anything? No. From what I know, and those of you in Great Britain, you can tell me otherwise, he's probably one of the more despised monarchs that you've had in history. Okay. I don't know, you go back to Henry VIII and killing wives, but, not that good old Chuck didn't do that too. But let's go into this whole rationing thing, okay? We've heard over and over and over again about cow farts, thanks AOC, oh, you eat too much meat, we have to stop that because animals cause climate change and everything like that. Shut up. All right. We've heard all the stories on a carbon tax, and as I've asked a million times, where's that money go? What's done with it when I would pay my hypothetical carbon tax? What's going to be done with it? Oh, it's going to go buy that new T-bone for Klaus Schwab. Okay, it's not going to do anything. It's just me paying for him. So these authors came up with this idea of rationing instead of taxing, okay? Because taxing isn't fair, right? This is their quote, all right? Or this is basically what they're saying. The authors believe that a rationing scheme, I love how they call that, a rationing scheme. Just put that word in there, scheme, would be more equitable than individual allowances because unlike carbon taxes and carbon credit schemes, using that word again, both of which have been proposed in response to climate change, rationing would not allow the rich to, quote, buy their way out. Anybody that believes that is a good friend of Hunter Biden's and the crack pipe. Okay. Do not even try to tell me that King Charles, Bill Gates, Al Gore, Al Gore hasn't missed a meal lately, in case you guys have missed. When he was running for president 20 years ago, he was thin as a rail. Now the guy looks like the Goodyear blimp. He ain't missing meals. So, for him to tell us about how we need to change our diet, lead by example, Porky. They're not going to be foregoing their T-bone, their ribeye, their prime rib, their caviar, or whatever it would be. You and me, probably most of us don't eat a whole lot of caviar. I'm going to have a steak if I want a steak. Okay. Then they get into this is again quoting directly from these articles, which I'm going to link this exact report. You can read all 30 pages of it yourself if you want. Okay. First, We could argue anyone who believes that rationing would not be a response to scarcity demonstrates that they do not understand the problem. I understand the problem quite well. The problem is you are trying to create a false narrative about some bullshit thing called climate change, which does not exist, that has already been proven scientifically over and over and over again. Okay, that man's actions do not affect the climate other than a minuscule percentage of what's going on. Okay, it's like 0.1% man's activity affects what the climate is. They talk about we've got to stop the sea level from rising. Go watch Alaska Prepper's video from a month or so back. In 100 years, the sea hasn't risen an inch. It's exactly where it is. Okay. They talk about the melting of the polar ice caps. There's more ice in the Arctic now than there was 20 years ago. Okay. All they do is try to talk to the mental midgets out there who will believe anything that they are told. And all these environmentalist whack jobs who don't know anything about the environment in the first place. Okay. I mean, the stupidest thing we hear is carbon dioxide's bad. Carbon dioxide's bad. Okay, if we get rid of all the cows and we get rid of all the carbon dioxide out there, we have no plants. You got rid of the meat, and because you don't have any carbon dioxide, we got no plants. What do you plan on eating? And don't tell me bugs, because that ain't happening. Okay. Again, quoting from the article, climate change will be the new normal. So in other words, this isn't a solution. This is a perpetual thing that we will go on forever, always trying to keep the climate from changing. No. Okay? I'm sorry. I am not bowing down to you and your climate change idiocy. Okay? Klaus Schwab, you are not God. You aren't anywhere close. You ain't even going to spend eternity in heaven because you are the second coming of Satan. Okay? Please understand that. Okay? So what are the solutions here? Well, they want to start with this. Governments will limit the number of long-haul flights that people can make. Now, the last time I've been on an airplane was 2019, and that was from Vegas flying here to come look at this house. So yeah, I don't think that I'm too concerned about that one, okay? Those that might be, John Kerry, maybe you need to get your fat ass off of a plane all the time and fly coach, okay? That might be a better idea, okay? Or they can limit the amount of gasoline that people can buy in a month. Their recommendation, 5 to 6 gallons of gas a month. 5 to 6 gallons of gas a month will get me to this store and back in my truck one time. What if I need to go to the hospital? Sorry, you don't have any gas, you're dead. Okay, this is the thing. I mean, they are completely trying to take us to a communist state with this, right? In the article, they talk about rationing and that the selling of one's rations will be prohibited, okay? Rations cannot be sold, and they will include price controls at everything at the store. This is straight out of the Soviet Union playbook, guys, all right? Butter is, just hypothetically say, $5 a pound, okay? You're allowed 1 pound of butter a month. That's it. Butter will always be $5 a pound. Great. What does that mean for your wages? How are you going to go to work on 5 or 6 gallons of gas? Okay. I know people around me, 5 or 6 gallons of gas is probably what they spend to go to work one day. Sorry, boss, can't come in this month. What do you mean you can't come in this month? I don't have any gas. They won't give me any gas. Can't come in. Oh, well, you're fired. Boss? You're going to fire your entire company. You have nobody left because nobody can get to work. Oh, we'll live in 15-minute cities. Right. Tell me where a factory is going to fit in a 15-minute city. Tell me where any large business, put an oil refinery in a 15-minute city. I don't know, those are good paying jobs. Put a nuclear power plant in a 15-minute city. Ooh, those are good paying jobs. Gee, well, you know what? We don't have any gas. We don't have any power. How come? Nobody can come to work. They can't think past here. All right? Black market. Will this happen? Oh, absolutely. And they mentioned this in the article about there was a black market in England during the rationing of World War II. Well, you guys know about that. Rubber and sugar and coffee and everything for the war effort was rationed. Lasted 8 years after the war ended, till I think 1953 when the rationing ended. Some of you have sent me pictures of parents or grandparents' ration cards that they had during the war. But imagine that permanently, that you're only allowed to buy so much. Are you going to find something else? I'm going to tell you this. I'll grow a hell of a lot bigger garden, and I'll be selling cucumbers and tomatoes off the bottom of my driveway. Oh, you can't do that. Stop me. Okay? Let me give you this. Walk into a gas station and say, I need 10 gallons of gas. And the guy says, you can't buy more than 5. How long do you think, A, it is till crime goes through the roof? I'm taking 10 gallons of gas, whether you like it or not. Okay? And if there's any problem, I'm betting by the end of the day, that gas station is not standing anymore. So that person would be out of business. Oh, and it'd probably be a government-owned gas station, which would be rubble on the ground by the end of the day. The people are not going to take this. We have to not take this whatsoever. Nobody elected these clowns. Okay? Nobody elected the clown we have in the White House either. Certainly not 81 million people. You have all the idiots around Europe, Macron and Schultz, and, pick another one over there. I don't remember who the new prime minister is. I mean, England's changing prime ministers more often than I change underwear. But, you've got all these socialist, communist, globalists that are in power. It's time worldwide we throw every one of these bastards out and put people in that tell Klaus Schwab to crawl back into the freaking hole he came out of, because nobody wants to hear from him or King Idiot or Bill Gates or Al Gore or anything like this. When they all are 6 feet under, the world might be a better place. There are a whole bunch of idiots that want to take the mantle from each one of those, and they need to be ignored as well. Guys, this whole climate change bullshit that's being stuffed down our throat, left and right, start putting it all together. How are we going to ration people? Well, the clerk at the grocery store is not going to care if you buy 4 tomatoes instead of 3, but your CBDC will, okay? This is why it's so important that you have alternative means of everything. Alternative means of getting your food, growing it, raising your own livestock, knowing people that raise livestock that you can barter for, having gold and silver, talking to politicians to make gold and silver legal tender in your state, doing anything and everything we can to stop these idiot globalists from destroying the world and becoming a worldwide tyranny. That's what they want, okay? Understand, over and over and over again. They want feudalism, the elites and the rest of us. And why do all the politicians in Washington or Berlin or London or pick a national capital, why are they all along with the globalists? Because they think they're going to be the elites, okay? They aren't. They're just being peddled a bag of shit. This tells you how stupid they are. They believe that Bill Gates and Al Gore are going to welcome them in with open arms and go, hey, little state senator from Poughkeepsie, no problem. You know what? You're one of us. They're like, wrong. Get out there with the rest of the peasants, okay? These grapes and bananas are only for us important people. This is why the Second Amendment is the only thing that keeps you safe from these morons trying to run the world. This is it. This is Keynesian economics right here. This is going right into a race to the bottom. Do not be fooled. Have a good one.